two teams separated by 5 points in the rugged Metropolitan Division. The fourth and final get-together between Marcus Johansson's mates and the boys from Long Island. Alex Ovechkin, the league's leading goal scorer, ready to produce in tandem with his Russian countryman Yevgeny Kuznetsov. So glad you've tuned in. Dave Jackson, Steve Kazari are the referees, Darren Gibbs, Brian Murphy, they have the lines. Brock Nelson, the immediate forecheck on Matt Niskanen for these New York Islanders at 39-19-1. The top run in the Metro Division, and shame on me for waiting for them to fall all season long. There's no signs of that.
No, it's been a great story, this Islander team. They've been great on home ice especially, but they've been darn good away from home. Capitals have to beware here today. This is a quick strike team, especially early on in first period.
Clutterbuck towards the slot. Johansson is there, and he'll cruise back through center. Washington in the middle of the line change. Good poke check from Hamonic. Orpik there on the step up, forcing the Islanders to rewind. 25-year-old Josh Bailey tumbles the puck into the corner. Burakovsky trickles it along. There's Alex Ovechkin. Failed to clear. It's Carlson's turn now. We get the whistle here. That did get back to center, so it's an offside against New York. Locker details the netminder.
Well, both teams playing back-to-back games, so the Islanders go with Chad Johnson. He's 500 on the season at 7-7. His last 6 starts, he's 2-3. Holtby is a 28-game winner for the Caps. On home ice, just about unbeatable in his last 12, going 10-1-1. Has Braden with a goals against under 1.5.
Capitals' lone win over the Islanders this season was against Chad Johnson and in this building. 5-2 around the Thanksgiving holiday.
And the Islanders won both games on their home ice in overtime on power plays. The Capitals have to stand on the box here this half.
Green to the front, deflected off of Brooks Laich and wide of Chad Johnson. Laich pressing lately, in the words of his head coach, Barry Trotz, trying to get himself back on the scoreboard. It's been a while. Franz Nielsen will reverse. Winnipeg native Travis Hamonic plays it along the wall, but not out. Laich on the feed. Fair guns it high. Fair on the rotation play. Laich on the delay. Bumped by Nielsen. Working the cycle for Joel Ward. Entangled with Hamonic. Laich up top. Long wrister coming from the former Islander, Jack Gillen. That was deflected.
Man, pretty good containment down low. The Islanders weren't that aggressive against that Capitals trio. They look at containment as being important. You saw a sign there of that.
Beagle with a good read. Jay Beagle working the boards. Jason Chimera is back into the active lineup. Aaron Volpatti and Michael Latta, the healthy scratches up front. Cam Schilling brought back into the American Hockey League ranks as a scratch on D. Gaining ground through center, it's Alsner. He'll sprinkle it to the New York line. McDonald with help from Leddy. Nick Leddy off of a goal and 2 assist performance against Nashville.
Overall, their defensive core had 3 of those goals against Nashville, so beware of their defense. Very active, much like the Holmes team group, where Niskanen, Carlson, Greeny love to jump up.
Boychuk hammers that one. Holtby got a little whisker of it. Playing the Washington D zone. Jack Capuano changing his lines as Chimera will scuttle New York deep in its own territory. No shots on goal officially registered to this point. DeHaan on the exit for New York. This wrister deflected, floating over top. Hill in there to keep an eye on Brock Nelson. The green outlet gets through Brouwer and down with enough pace to be icing against the Capitals. This afternoon in D.C., Alan May inside the glass.
You know, the New York Islanders have drastically changed their game over the past season. Last year, they would move the puck from behind their goal line, hit a stationary guy at the far blue line, and then chip it in going to the forecheck. Now they're a puck possession team. They're getting about 34 shots a game because they're going tape to tape, using the middle of the ice, gaining speed, and firing shots with 3 guys traveling towards the front of the net.
As Holtby flags this one down. Locker, when they're at home, the Islanders have scored in the first, 71 seconds of their last 4 home games. Thankfully, we're past that mark in Washington.
Yeah, they really jumped on Nashville. They got one early on under that time limit that you mentioned, and then struck for 3 straight before Nashville was able to mount a comeback. Cappy's got them going. Jack Capuano has done a wonderful job with the Islanders. Puck possession, Alan May talks puck possession. You can't forget Corsi, the analytic type number that tells you that they're well over 50%. They're a team, as Alan May mentioned, loves to use their D, loves to go on the attack with their forwards.
He's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for these day games. Here's Craig's Voice on Value, presented by Morgan Franklin Consulting.
Against DeHaan and company, a mucky middle, Joe B. They've got to be good again between the 2 blue lines. I thought the last 3 games for the Caps, they really dominated in that part of their game. They turned pucks over against Winnipeg and made Winnipeg look slow. They did the same against the Penguins. Well, this Islander team, you know the firepower they have, one of the highest scoring teams in the NHL, that's where they generate a ton. So a mucky middle for the Capitals this afternoon may lead to victory.
Mucky. Okay. Their prospects aren't mucky or murky for that matter. On the flank, Anders Lee, who's had a fine rookie season in the NHL. Bailey and Tavares joining him up front. Now, this is an Islander team that's without Kyle Oposo, their second leading point scorer.
Yeah, and Anders Lee has taken over his spot on the top line. You mentioned his season with those 19 goals. There's only a couple other rookies, Hoffman in Ottawa and Forsberg in Nashville, that have more goals than their top line guy.
5-on-5 play continues. Islanders with the first 2 shots of the game. Just wading into this Metropolitan Division battle. A Saturday afternoon in D.C., a busy day around the NHL. 10 other games before we close the books. At the point position, this is going to be ruled offside against the Caps. On Twitter today, #CapitalsTalk. This one really requires some thinking. Using just Metropolitan Division players, folks, who would you name as a starting 6 in an all-star game?
No, that guy with the C on his jersey is an automatic.
So 3 forwards, 2 D, and a goalie from the Metro only. #CapitalsTalk.
2 forwards and 2 D and a goalie. OV's in.
Okay.
You can't go without mentioning Alex Ovechkin.
Making headlines everywhere. The Great 8. On a team that may have 3 different MVP candidates when you consider it.
Yeah, Backstrom and Holtby have to be considered in that group.
That might deflect the vote. Leddy on the go. Snapshot that's deflected. McDonald steers it back behind the cage. John Tavares, of course, would have to be earning MVP consideration for this New York team that's on top of the division. Beagle fires. That was blunted. The smooth skating Leddy in the lane. From a game notes perspective, things to keep an eye on today, starting with Braden Holtby.
Yeah, that 10-1-1 record here on home ice, goals against under 1.5 and a .951 save percentage in his last 12. The Caps defensemen have 15 points in the last 5 games, points in 25 of the last 29 games overall. The Isles have won 6 of 7 games, 4 goals per game. They've been dominant when it comes to scoring goals. However, away from home, they have sometimes a liability of allowing a lot, so we'll see how this game comes along.
New York's totally scary. I mean, there's no team in the NHL that has more road wins than these New York Islanders.
Another thing they do well, Joe B, it doesn't matter whether or not they score first. They have a great winning record, either getting scored on first or getting the first goal of the game. So they're a team that's never out of it, and it's because their defensemen are so involved in the play, and they have such a great 5-man attack right now.
Players and coaches talk about that bounce-back ability of the Isles, as Braden Holtby will tee this for returning Carl Alsner. To the cheers of Let's Go Caps. Johansson's pass, twisting Brouwer around and down. Calvin DeHaan will bump it for Thomas Hickey, the 26-year-old Calgary native. Clutterbuck on the hand-to-head. No running room there for Nikolai Kulemin, who doesn't have a point in the month of February.
That's sort of surprising. No points the last 8 games. He does have 11 goals, so he's up over his last 3 seasons when it comes to goal production.
Missing his center iceman today, former Cap Mikhail Grabovski was out of the lineup injured. The Isles have asked for Kale Molarat to come in from the American Hockey League as Light steps to the accelerator Johnson makes the save. 6:57 into the opening frame. New York and Washington today on CSN. Scoreless. Meteorologists right on the money today. They said it would be snowing, and it is. Temperatures in the high teens, low 20s. No score caps and aisles. Star Trek presented by Toyota. These men could be pivotal players today.
Anders Lee plays on that top line. 10 points, 4 of them goals the last 7 games. Has really helped out Tavares and Bailey, providing a lot of production. For the Capitals, Nick Backstrom, 21 points, 16 of them helpers in his last 16 games. That's catapulted him to the top of the NHL leaderboard when it comes to points. He's joined by P. Kane in Chicago.
No score in this opening period. Washington and New York. The Isles have a date with Vancouver tomorrow, playing host to the Canucks at 6 p.m. Eastern. The Capitals will be at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. A game aired nationally on NBC. Part of Hockey Day in America, if I'm not mistaken, as this is deflected off of the rink. Folks, you can join the team today. Purchase your 2015-16 full season tickets. Guaranteed access to purchase the 15 Stanley Cup playoff tickets and the opportunity to use the pay-as-we-play payment option. Become a member of Club Red 365 by visiting WashingtonCaps.com.
A lot of fans in here in North America watching this show, Joby. I got to give a shout out to my mom and sister watching in Kitchener, and to my other sister Sharon in Toronto. She just texted me and say, hey, we got the Caps game here in Canada. This is wonderful.
Coast to coast today on Rogers Sportsnet, north of the border, and the NHL Network in the United States. Capitals in the home red. Very good at Verizon Center of late. 11-2-2 in their last 15 home outings. Hamonic jumping up into the rush. Fires. He scores. Travis Hamonic.
That's a good-looking shot by Hamonic. No goals in the past 31 games, Joby. His last goal was against this Caps team November 26th. And that is the defense, as Alan May was talking about that earlier. They're very active. He jumps up and he looks like a winger. John Tavares, real nice backhand, actually picks it back up, will get the primary assist. And there's the ripper that goes right under the catching glove of the Capitals' Braden Holtby off the wing. Hamonic and the Islanders up 1-0.
You know, that's a situation where the Caps get caught pinching inside the offensive zone. Too many guys pressing on one side of the ice. You want to force the Islanders to play a perimeter game, and you cannot let their defensemen beat you up on the ice. So the Capitals are going to have to be aware of that all game long.
That's Alan May. Ice level inside the glass for us. 7:41 the time of Hamonic's tally, his 4th on the year. And a goal that was sort of eerily similar to the way Wayne Simmons of the Flyers beat Braden Holtby in this barn. Braden just drifting a little bit and allowing that shot past the glove hand side to give New York the advantage.
It's also because the players are right shot on the left side. It's hard to adjust for goaltenders. That's really the start of the era back with the Rangers under Herb Brooks, when he had players playing other wings rather than right, left, center like we did in the 70s and 80s. Off wingers create problems for goals.
As Hillen pumps it right to Chad Johnson. You mentioned Herb Brooks there, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, 35th year anniversary tomorrow, no?
Yes, indeed. Here's that last replay there against their goaltender. Kicks back. Look at how wide open Hillen is, but do you see any red jerseys in front? Absolutely not. That actually hits the crest or just below Chad Johnson, very square to the puck, and falls right into his catching mitt.
Jack Hillen playing NHL game number 300 today. Parts of 3 seasons as a New York Islander. The Travis Hamonic goal, NHL point number 100 for that blue liner from Bailey and Lee. This is an icing call against New York.
Well, Locker getting back to getting traffic in front of the net. The Capitals are getting 3 guys in the corner on the forecheck, and they've got to be very wary of that, because as soon as the Islanders grab the puck, they throw it to a D-man in front of the net, they charge down the ice, or even a centerman that waits there for that pass. It's their new exit strategy, so they've got to make sure that they're not overloading too much on these guys.
Matt Martin is always bullish along the boards. Islanders have possession of the puck nearly 9 minutes into this opening period. A 1-0 advantage thanks to Travis Hamonic. Hamonic, who has led the Islanders in assists this month, getting himself on the scoreboard today in D.C.
He's one guy that plays a lot, too. They really utilize him over 21 minutes a game. A guy to watch here this afternoon.
Puck deflected into the Washington bench. Nissan shows us the road to the playoffs in the East.
I'm not sure how the Boston fans are feeling, Joe B. Look at the Panthers, and the Flyers not that far off either, 6. The Penguins sort of hit a tough part of their schedule too, not really figuring out a way to win. So a lot of tightening of the teams from the top Atlantic down to the wild cards, and the Panthers and Flyers still hanging around.
Florida, Roberto Luongo, he gives them a chance to win every
Sure
night.
Does.
Goals against average is like, what, under 1.9 in the last 7 games? He's been really good.
Gallant's been terrific behind the bench. Real good stability. Dale Talon has pushed the right buttons as far as bringing correct guys into their lineup, and it's worked out well for them in Florida.
And you can't forget Nick Bjugstad, one of the best young players in the National Hockey League that no one really knows about because the Panthers aren't in any media hotbeds, but Nick's a sniper, controls the play, and he's a very big body.
Big man, huh? Long wingspan. Reminds you a little bit of Ryan Johansson in Columbus. It's a good thing going on. Woo. Double team sandwich. Huge collision. Down goes Hamonic.
Welly and Chimera, they just railed the goal scorer. That is a sandwich, Joey. That's a lot of poundage nailing their defenseman.
Hamonic makes his woozy way back to the bench as the Caps build momentum through center with Johansson. Drop pass to nobody in particular. Tavares going the other way. Slings it out wide, gets the return. Orpik comes to call on him. Anders Lee digging in along the boards. John Carlson roughing it up. We've crossed the midway mark of the first. Boychuk. Ow, drilled that one right off the referee.
The referee gives him the 1-4 there, sort of gives him a bad look.
Steve Kazari's like, what are you doing?
Jump up on the boards.
Of course, Locker with absolutely no compassion as Johansson will deal it into the corner. Barry Trotz wants the line change. Shots on goal are low in the first 11 minutes. 3-2 for New York.
And 10-6 in hits for the Islanders so far.
Holtby on the quick reverse. Smart looking breakout for Fair. And then Hillen. Leaving it on the woodwork for Light as he's collared by a backtracking Cal Clutterbuck. Capitals fans in a fidgety mood. Nelson gets the line. Working in. The puck was played with a high stick. We hear a whistle. 8:46 to go, opening frame. Hamonic, a well-placed wrister. Top corner, giving the Islanders the advantage. Ice on fire today in D.C. Islanders have a 1-0 advantage. Today's timeless moment is brought to you by Coors Banquet. I don't remember a lot from when I was 14, but I sure do remember this.
Yeah, you mentioned that, Joe B. earlier. 35th anniversary tomorrow. The U.S. Olympic team beat the Soviet Union 4-3. To get to the finals in Lake Placid, New York, in what became known as the Miracle on Ice. They then had to defeat Finland 4-2 to win the gold medal.
Yeah, most people don't remember that their work wasn't done.
And they weren't even supposed to win the first 2 games of the tournament. They were underdogs all the way through 1980 in the Olympics.
Calvin DeHaan sprints to this loose biscuit. Matt Martin leading the league again in hits, as he has done the last 3 NHL seasons.
Yeah, cool day for Arizioni. Joe B, scored the game winner. Today, he celebrates 20 years, 20-year reunion with BU, and then he also has the 35th reunion tomorrow when he travels to Lake Placid.
An iconic sports moment for the United States. Team USA's miracle of 1980. Where does the time go? This is all the way down for an icing call against Washington.
Joe B, there's been a lot of hits in this hockey game. We're going to slow it down here on Comcast Sportsnet. Our slow-mo cam by 84 Lumber. There he is along the wall. And he catches straight behind the net. And then there's going to be a double whammy. Down behind the goal line. There's the sandwich you talked about, Joe B. All 3 bowling pins go down behind the net.
Sure did. Hamonic towards the cage, deflected wide by Anders Lee. Lee and Tavares south of the goal line. Hillen and Green keeping an eye on them. There hasn't been a power play in this contest. Travis Hamonic has New York in front. Alex Ovechkin trying to remedy that for Washington. On the hop, working down the flank, gets to the middle with help from Bailey. It was Hamonic doing the job defensively.
Yeah, real good back check there by Daly, number 12, playing on that top line. You have to back check up the middle and then pick your spot. He felt the D getting on OV and had support right next to him to strip the puck off the Capitals captain.
Wilson on the dump down, Beagle in there. As you watch Franz Nielsen speed back up ice. Grabner at the line, speaking of speedy, offside against New York.
Yeah, Strome got in trouble there. He had to slow down. He was looking for the pass from Nielsen up the middle, one of the longest tenured Islanders. Been around for a long time. 11 goals this year, 25 last year. Very tenured, very good two-way centerman for the New York Islanders.
A 1-0 New York lead, 7:41 the time of the tally. Hamonic from Bailey and Lee. Alan May inside the glass for us today. How about the tempo during this day game, Alan?
Well, you know what? The Islanders are trying to play a very fast game, and the Capitals are trying to make it more of a static game. So, you know, the tempo's there on the Islanders part of it, and the Capitals just have to find a way to pound those defensemen down below the goal line and on the boards inside the Islanders zone.
From your vantage point, it must look like the expressway. Back and forth, back and forth.
Well, it's kind of scary right now. The Islanders throwing that extra defenseman up there every time. The left defenseman is really activating, especially Nick Leddy. He's catching up to the play at all times. So the Capitals got to make sure, like the Islanders did that last Capitals rush, make sure that they have someone coming down the middle with speed, and make sure your next two guys, your F2 and F3, are making sure that they're doing a great job of getting back and taking away the late forward as well.
Boychuk working to the outside. Well defended there by Karl Alsner. 6:10 left in the opening period. Just 2 shots on goal for Washington. Niskanen double teamed at the center line.
And just 3 for the Islanders. Just both teams not really giving much way when it comes to creating offense.
Kuhlman to the corner. Sounds like a playoff game, doesn't it?
Sure does. And you know, the Islanders' first thing on their sheet was, hey, no penalties. We saw what the Caps did against Winnipeg. It blew that game open, and really, through Winnipeg, made them not look very good last game. They totally dominated because of their power play. So the Islanders trying to play very clean here this afternoon.
Capitals were 3 for 6 on the man advantage against the Jets in that win. A convincing decision here Thursday night. 5:20 with which to work in the opening period. We get a whistle.
Too many men on the ice.
Exactly the call. Linesman Brian Murphy was the first man to spot it. The Islanders are disbelievers. Jack Capuano's upset. His team goes short in a moment on CSN. John Tavares is sitting in the penalty box for New York. Too many men on the ice as we were heading to commercial break. So Washington has a chance to equalize against Coach Capuano's team on the power play, which has been very productive. 6 power play tallies in the last 3 outings.
And their penalty killing unit right near the bottom. Only Buffalo has less than their effectiveness at 74.7 overall.
Special teams numbers, bottom of the screen, detailing Craig's point. First man advantage of the afternoon. Brouwer with a face-off win. Ovechkin lines up for a blast that was blocked by Kuhlman and cleared on down by New York's Johnny Boychuk.
And I had a chance to catch up with Jack Capuano just prior to the game. I asked him about the penalty killing and what he was going to try to do. A lot of teams come in on the Caps power play. They shield and they favor going against Alex Ovechkin. He said, you know what? We're going to go the same way. We've been a lot better lately just playing our system. What he does demand is for the goalie to come up with some saves when Alex does blast him from the top of the circle.
Assist leaders presented by your local Hyundai dealers. Let them assist you in scoring the lowest prices on the hottest lineup in America.
Yeah, the QBs on the power play. Nick Backstrom tied with Yandel, Shattenkirk, Giroux, Zetterberg are the top 5 guys when it comes to power play assist guys.
Man up magic men, all of those. Washington with a power play, another 90 seconds.
Great board work by Troy Brouwer there to keep that puck. He had 2 Islanders on him the entire time. Excellent work to gain possession in the zone.
Johansson feeds for Green, gets it right back. Flushed out by Grabner. Green this way for Ovechkin. They overplayed that well. They knew that was coming, and Boychuk clears.
Yeah, Boychuk, he was beeline there as soon as Greeny got the puck. Obviously, you scout this power play enough, you're going to act, not react. Once you react, you're in trouble.
Green's going to throw a fake later on in the power play and have 20 feet with which to work.
Sure
it's going to
will.
be just fine. Johansson inside for Brouwer off of his skate, and Hamonic clears.
You know, just before Johnny Boychuk had that steal, I saw him cheating over to Ovechkin. I can guarantee you that Blaine Forsythe will make an adjustment between periods if it takes that long for when the Caps get their next power play opportunity. They'll find a way to answer to what the Islanders are doing right now.
And the guys down the middle, Allen, will score the goal. It'll either be Green or Brouwer.
Exactly, and it's going to be that one time in the hash mark area, or the guy down low is just going to step up and be there all by himself to jam it in.
Just out of sync early on here, and offsides against Alex Ovechkin. His league-leading 38 goals, 61 points, a real good plus-minus. Also right up there with BPG's with 17 of his 38 coming with the extra man.
Alex has tallies in all 3 games against New York this season. Same can be said for Anders Lee of the Islanders against Washington. John Carlson looks up, sees 20 seconds left on the power play. Second wave here for the Capitals. Yevgeny Kuznetsov sifting through center, pulls the trigger, deflected away. Kuznetsov had a beautiful goal against Chad Johnson in this building back in November. We got a penalty call here. It's a high stick.
Yeah, I think it's going to go against Kuznetsov on the puck retrieval. Caught the defender up high. The referee's taking a look to see if it's deeming to a double minor. I don't think so. It should only be a minor. We'll have 4-on-4 action as the referee makes a call here at center ice.
Washington, minor penalty, 2 minutes for high sticking.
And there's a call against Kuznetsov. He was hot on the puck after he took that shot. The D spun away from him and got clipped up high. Here's the play against Boychuk. He spins, the puck comes loose, and watch him spin around, and it's actually catching Hickey, who is Boychuk's partner, to send him to the box.
Completely accidental, but you're always responsible for your hockey stick.
Unless you're trying to shoot the puck.
Right. Follow-throughs. Nielsen to the front. Good stick there from Braden Holtby to intercept the pass. And Eric Fair will clear down. The Islanders are 10th ranked on the power play. Washington's penalty killing is picking up. Middle of the pack now, but they've killed 13 in a row. Fans approving of this effort from Jay Beagle. Long enough to draw a whistle.
Yeah, great job. You know, I've talked about this pair a long time, the last several games in particular. Beagle and Fair being one of the top penalty killing units in the National Hockey League. You know, you don't have to worry about production. He's having a career year. He's great on face-offs. Beagle, 17 points in 54 games.
I'll tell you what, one of the things about Jay Beagle that's not mentioned very often is how good he is at protecting the puck. When he gets on the wall, shielding with his body, keeping the stick on his blade almost the entire time, whether it's 5-on-5, penalty kill. Jay has done an exceptional job, and he's really put himself on the radar throughout the National Hockey League with his solid play all season long.
Such a hard worker, Allen, and as you say, he focuses on those fundamentals.
Well, there's just been so much growth in his game this season. I didn't think he had it in him, and kudos to him for doing everything necessary to be a full-time National Hockey League player.
1:05 on the power play for New York, tail end of the opening period. Boychuk keeping it on the perimeter. Gets it right back. Stick check made and cleared by Troy Brouwer.
And a smart play by Boychuk. He was thinking of grabbing Brouwer and getting in front and interfering with him because he lost his twig. Just completely got out of the way and let his other partner deal with Brouwer on the chase.
Franz Nielsen on the entry for Tavares. Back to point position for Leddy. This way to Hamonic. Long wrister. This time it's gloved by Braden Holtby.
And we'll take a look at that last play on Boychuk versus Brouwer. A lot of defense are going to interfere or grab him. Here's Boychuk just getting that shot down low. The pressure's going to come right here from Brouwer, a misplay. And look at him get out of the way. He knows that if he probably knocks Brouwer down, he's going to the box and nullifies their power play, what's left of it. So a smart play by Boychuk, who's probably in for a big payday come what, July 1st? Let's say re-up him in a hurry.
Strome, former Islander first-round pick for Hamonic. Bailey, sightseeing on the outside. Niskanen looking after his check to the corner. Nelson digging in. He's always very productive around the front of the goal on the power play. This one is out of play for a whistle with 1:36 to go in this period.
And about 50 seconds of zone time, but not much happening for the power play for this Islander team. You'd expect them to be more proficient for Jack Capuano, considering only Tampa Bay scores more goals than them, but this has not been the case. Capuano's 5th season as an Islander head coach has a way to catch the great Al Arbour when it comes to wins, but he is second with 154.
Hamonic steps in and fires a pad save for Holtby. The Caps have put just 2 shots on Chad Johnson at the other end. That would equal their single period season low. Game
Caps
earlier this year against Arizona.
Caps, great job in this penalty kill, keeping the puck on the boards, and every time it bobbled or bounced or the Islanders had their back to him, attacking and then getting the puck out of the zone.
Hickey rolls one to the slot. Allen deflected right to Andre Burakovsky. 3-on-2 on the attack. Cross ring, Ovechkin to the front. Deflected wide by Backstrom. Niskanen had that one bounce over his blade in the final minute of the first. Both teams in the middle of personnel changes. Alsner deals on for Backstrom. Funneling through center. Nicholas Backstrom works wide, leads the league in assists. Straight pass. Niskanen scores!
I often talk about the Capitals' right side being one of the best in the National Hockey League as far as producing offense. You have Carlson, you have Niski, and you have Mike Green. He's got his 3rd goal of the season, and it's a wonderful play behind the net by Backstrom, and he just lays it out there. Watch Nick's patience. Gets around Boychuk, throws it out behind the defense and behind the forward who's attacking him. That allows Niskanen to come in right in the wheelhouse, top shelf, the Capitals strike, and tie it up on their 3rd shot of the period.
First time Matt Niskanen has ever scored against the New York Islanders. He had 4 assists against them this season in the 3 prior meetings. This tally at 19-19. Backstrom on the primary assist. We're 1-1. Final 20 seconds of the first. Niskanen, goal number 3 and the first of the year for him at even strength. Kuznetsov tumbles it back to center. Alsner has the puck, 6 seconds in the period. Niskanen golfs it ahead. We hit traffic there. We get a whistle with 2.8 to play.
Yeah, one final little face-off just outside the blue line. Not much can happen now. Real big momentum boost. We always talk to coaches about goals early in the period, late in the period. Sort of a sleepy period for the home team, the Washington Capitals. That should spark some energy and some real positives when they head to the locker room.
A vital penalty kill because you didn't want to see New York jump out 2-0 with the way they've been playing, with the confidence that the Islanders have earned this season. We are 1-1 at the intermission break here inside of Verizon Center. Hamonic at 7:41. Niskanen in 19-19. Defenders ruling the day offensively to this point in a 1-1 struggle. Lattice's intermission live is coming up.
Sure, the 3rd one.
Really?
Yeah. That's my guess.
I'm with you on the Cap. I'm definitely with you on the Cap. I don't know about the defensemen on the Islanders that you're thinking of.
Okay, I know. That's got me.
It's not an easy question.
No, it is not.
I have 5 guys on my list. I think 3 of them are right. I usually hedge my bets that way.
Chimmer back in the lineup here today.
I can name that easy, guys. And one of the things I just noticed here on the Caps bench is Matt Niskanen is not here. He had about 8.5 minutes of ice time in the first period. You saw Carlson and Alsner and Green start the period. So now you have Matt Niskanen missing from the bench. So that'll be an important update.
Good eyes on you, but did I hear you gloss yourself there? You've got that answer easily?
And I just saw him run up the bench there, run from the dressing room, so he's on the bench, I think, right now, guys.
Even in full strength, Backstrom below the goal line offensively for Washington. Nicholas helped set up the Niskanen strike back in the first. Fourth and final regular season meeting between these two teams with the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet, coast to coast in the United States on the NHL Network, and north of the border too on Rogers Sportsnet. Bailey drags that pass behind Tavares. Anders Lee to a backhand, and Holtby had a pad in the way.
You don't want to leave the zone without a puck with those guys on the ice.
Hamonic dishes. Long drive deflected wide from Brian Strait, the 27-year-old Boston native. Digging in along the boards. Burakovsky turned 20 this month. Lost it to Tavares, his head man twisting Lee around at the end of his shift. Jack Capuano's troops 39-19-1, 79 points, pacing the way in the Metropolitan Division. Capitals in third in that bracket, 2 points behind the New York Rangers, who prevailed over Buffalo an evening ago. Joel Ward sends it to the far flank. Hamonic is there. Hamonic and Niskanen exchanging tallies in the first period if you're just tuning in with us.
And good news for the Caps, Matt Niskanen's back here on the bench, sitting right beside where I'm located.
Copy that, Alan May. Thank you very much. Strome knocks it loose. Nielsen through center. Soft wrist shot, armed aside by Braden Holtby. Numbers here at Verizon Center just dazzling of late. Over 95% in the save percentage category in the last dozen home games. Martin will clear it, only as far as Carl Alsner, who picked up an assist in the first. Alsner's first ever NHL assist came against the Islanders in his rookie year. Leddy with Brouwer closing ranks. Leddy did not keep this in. The Islanders will reorganize.
Capitals a little sloppy to start this second period in their own zone. Pretty good forecheck so far in the first three shifts for this visiting Islander team.
That was a heavy hit right in front of the handheld camera involving Cale Molarat, the 27-year-old high scorer in the American Hockey League ranks with Bridgeport.
Yeah, good years. 20-goal guy, bounced around a little bit, and playing in his first game as a 27-year-old. Made it to the National Hockey League.
Stick-to-itiveness.
Sure is.
College hockey at Minnesota State, Mankato. Nelson along the boards. Collared there by Hillen. Green comes to call. 3.5 minutes into period two. Hickey gets the puck but lost the handle as he was pressured by Jason Chimera. Wilson working in. Wilson to the front for Beagle, and a pad save for Chad Johnson, the goal today, spelling Yaroslav Halak. Down the dasher board comes Green. Flails that one wide of the goal. Hillen chops at it, and Clutterbuck was in the lane. Hillen to a turning Wilson. On the headman for Chimera. Strait got back, moves it along for Lee. Anders Lee on the hook off, waiting for reinforcements, nothing there. Capitals play it clear. It'll come all the way down and be icing against Washington.
Good opportunity for the Caps here in the second period. Woolley and Beagle starts with a heavy check that knocks open the penalty box door by Chimera. Nice net drive there by Beagle off his skate and possibly his stick. But Chad Johnson flies out that right pad and makes a good save with a back checker right over Beagle, able to get a piece of that to the net.
Gulping down some refreshments. Jay Beagle at the Washington bench. This Capitals team looking for another win in succession, trying again for its first 4-game win streak of the season.
Man, they've had 6 different times prior to this to do that, and they did not excel to get that 4th win.
Hamonic crossing over to play. Leaves it for Leddy. On target through center. Bailey on the dump down. Holtby quieting that puck, but lost the handle there. Had to scurry back into the crease. Ovechkin 3 abreast on the attack. Fires, and it's a glove save for Johnson.
Yeah, real good stop there by Chad Johnson, racing down the wing. Really didn't find a whole lot of room, I didn't think, in that first period, did the Capitals captain. This is the first sign of him getting some room on Hamonic, and he lets her fly. Little bit of knuckle puck heading to the net. Chad Johnson picks it up nicely. No rebound, no nothing. Right into the big catching mitt of number 30.
Shouting out thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew today. It's been a busy last 24 hours for them. Most of them, many of whom were involved an evening ago in this very barn when the Wizards and Cavaliers collided.
Cavaliers looked pretty darn good, didn't they?
Coming on very strong. It's a busy building again today. Once we're through, Georgetown and DePaul will play in men's college basketball tonight. The Hoyas on a good stretch where they've won 5 of their last 7. Snapshot, armed aside by Holtby, deflected out of play. 1-1 here with the New York Islanders. Hadid shows us the road ahead.
Well, Joe B, we get about 5 or 6 days off.
You and me, that is.
Yeah, the next 2 games will be covered nationally on NBC and NBCSN. Sunday, we're at the Flyers tomorrow at 12:30, right up the highway. Wednesday, the Penguins come to town. That should be a beauty, by the way, after what happened in Pittsburgh last game. Friday, we're at the Canes. The Leafs come to town, and then we're at the Blue Jackets. Let's look at our next 5 games on our road ahead, brought to you by Indeed.
Flyers are in action right now. Colin Wilson and Wayne Simmons have exchanged markers. It's 1-1 Flyers and Predators at Wells Fargo Center. Like to the boards and glass with Hamonic. Joel Ward to fetch. Fair turns, trying to stuff it there. Johnson gets tight to the post to make the cover up, and he gets plenty of help in a crowded crease.
And then down on the ice goes Brooks Light. He was trying to get to the net to fidget that puck free, coming out that short side. Light needs a bounce off his butt, off his leg, to get some confidence in his game. Maybe holding on the puck a little bit too long, but I thought in that first period, that was tremendous speed on probably the Capitals' best scoring chance when he broke in on a breakaway. And here again, getting in the dirty areas is the Caps' number 21 in Eric Fair. Exactly what the coach would want from that trio.
And guys, Alan and Craig, I want you to weigh in as time allows. Barry Trotz was saying sometimes this line makes plays too high along the wall. They want it a little bit lower. And by that, to create that cycle.
Yeah, get that puck down below the dots, and then you can have a straight line to the net, and you're going to get those rebounds and greasy goals. If you're up high, it's a little easier to defend. You're more in containment mode, and down low, you beat one guy, Joe, you have a better chance to get to the net.
You know, one of the problems when you cycle just in one corner like they do is you end up being locked in on that side. What I really like to do, or have these players do, is go side to side in the corner. Use that trapezoid as a guide, because what it forces the other team's defenders to puck watch and then separate their coverage, creating holes in front of the net. And these guys can all put the puck in the net. They do a great job. They were hot early on, November, December, but they've gone a little bit dry here. I know Joel Ward scored some big goals, but Brooks Light really has to start hunkering down near the net, shooting every opportunity that he has.
1-1 game today. Eric Fair doesn't have a point in his last 6 games. And I realize that a lot of the times Fair and Like and Ward are playing against the other team's top offensive line, so they do have their minds on defense as well.
Yeah, but you get that thing in your mind too. You want production, and it's all about pressing. You're pressing to score, and you need to refine your confidence.
Time for our military salute. It's brought to you by Pentagon Federal Credit Union. Today's honoree, Staff Sergeant Daniel Davenport, an active member of the U.S. Army since 2002. Daniel, well done. We salute you. We thank you for your service very much. Joe Beninati, Craig Laughlin upstairs, Alan May inside the glass, Tavares and Kuznetsov on this draw, as Hickey works in from point position. New York took the lead thanks to Travis Hamonic in the game's first 8 minutes. Matt Niskanen has tied it up for Washington. That came in the final minute of the first, as we are just about 8 minutes through period 2.
You know, getting back to the first period, the Caps keep the Islanders just to 6 shots, and the Islanders are a team that's averaged just around 34 shots a game this season. and they're out shooting teams by 6-7 shots every night. So the Capitals really, even though the Islanders got on the board first, did a great job of controlling momentum for the most part in that period.
Only Chicago with more shots on goal this season than the guys in the white jerseys. They're out shooting Washington today to the tune of 10-6. Ovechkin leads the league individually in shots. On the crisscross with Burakovsky. Swings away from straight. Deals for Niskanen. Fires, that goes wide, it deflected. Ovechkin, nice pass. Burakovsky had that one blocked. Niskanen's drive and a pad save for Johnson. Backstrom firing off the relay from Ovechkin. That's deflected aside. Great shift here for Washington's top line. Backstrom finagles around Hamonic. Help comes from Ovechkin. Burakovsky triggers. That's stopped in front. Bailey did not relieve the pressure. It's still in the offensive zone. Fans roaring for this top line.
And the Islanders have a long line change here in the second. That's why they wanted Bailey to get the puck down the ice.
Ovechkin wrister intercepted. Franz Nielsen will play clear, and the Islanders can finally get some fresh folks out there. The breakout begins for Niskanen, using the wall to Ovechkin late in his line shift. Undercut, 2-on-2 the other way. Clutterbuck steps and fires right to the chest of Braden Holtby. Things are starting to pick up. The Islanders and the Caps in a good one in D.C. 1-1. We'll get you back for more on Comcast Sportsnet. Just for a moment, the defense rests. It's 1-1 Islanders and Caps. Our Caps insider is Chuck Gormley. He's brought to you by Burke and Herbert Bank. He has more on the turnaround of Braden Holtby.
Well, a little less than a year ago, the Caps went out and got Yaroslav Halak to try to help them down the stretch get into the playoffs. It didn't happen. Braden Holtby was the guy kind of left out in that equation. He met with Mitch Korn over the summer. Mitch Korn said, hey, listen, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Braden Holtby has really turned everything around this season. A career high in wins. Yaroslav Halak has done the same thing with the Islanders, a career high in wins for him too. So both goaltenders really making the best of their situations here.
Chuck has more on both Halak and Holtby at csnwashington.com.
Yeah, Halak comes in with 32 wins, Joe B. And that's sort of right up there tying a franchise record of this Islanders team.
Billy Smith, Chris Osgood, Rick DiPietro, the others. Halak sitting this one out today. Quick centering pass for Nelson, and Holtby goes to the splits to make the save.
And for Braden Holtby, points in 31 of his 40 games since November 7th. 24 of those wins outright. And there you see the quickness of Braden. He's calm, but he's also quick. Watch him just move. Look at him looking around, trying to find the puck, not only with his eyes, but with his head. And there's that play off the left pad, denying a good chance in front. At our Jeep net cam here this afternoon on Comcast Sportsnet, a good look at the mobility and flexibility of NHL goaltenders.
Braden and Mitch Korn will love that last replay sequence because it was a great example of the footwork, the leg work required to go from that near post position to that snow plow position to make that save. Combination work that Holtby has been excelling in the last few months.
And did you see his head moving there, Joe? You know, with goalies used to track pucks just with eyes, but there's a new theory out there that you've got to track pucks not only with your eyes, but with your head. It's called head trajectory. And a lot of coaches and goalie coaches are teaching that, even though they probably do it normally. They don't know that it's actually a philosophy now, and a lot of goalies doing it.
I want to say Devin Dubnyk maybe in Minnesota is raving about that strategy.
Yeah, and Valaket, who used to be a goaltender, is one of the guys that really preaches it. There you look at Peters. We'll see if he'll get the nod tomorrow afternoon up I-95.
Capitals matching up with the Philadelphia Flyers in that one. Hockey Day in America on NBC. Just about halfway through regulation time in this one. Chad Johnson, the understudy for Halak, rolls it around. Eric Fair nudged it loose. Likes Rister was spoiled. Orpik. Good read, though, by Bailey. He'll send out Tavares and Lee 2-on-2 with Leddy joining the rush. Tavares for Leddy. Stick check by Orpik. Last time the Caps saw the Islanders, it was a scary moment for Brooks Orpik on Long Island. Right before the Winter Classic, everybody thought that was going to be a significant injury, and it turned out to be A miss, thank goodness, for the veteran who's experienced a number of different injury episodes in his career. Burakovsky, stick check by Grabner. Centering pass, Backstrom was in good shape, and Ovechkin will work free from the zone. Drop pass, Carlson, one more there. Save Johnson, rebound, Karam's wide on a expert passing play there from Washington. Backstrom hesitates. Delicate touch for Burakovsky, shut down by Johnson. Hillen quieting the bouncing Biscuit. Grabner will get it back through center, only as far as Backstrom, however. Then pick the pocket of Ovechkin late in his shift.
Man, that's why you have Michael Grabner in their lineup, Joe. He's one of the quickest players that they've had. He's just returned, and he's helped out with the speed, the transition. Always been a fabulous skater and brings extra speed to their lineup here today.
Johansson, a speed merchant in his own right. Marcus Johansson flushed out by Hamonic.
Wow, what a play by Hamonic behind the net. Real good, strong play. He's got a goal, and there you see how good he is defensively.
So many scouts, so many coaches rave about Travis Hamonic. I would say underrated on the New York back line. 1-1 in D.C. Capitals moving the puck around. Chad Johnson in the way at the end of the line.
Yeah, I'm going to bang that drum again. I mean, he's as complete a player as you're going to find in this league. You know, everything from, I was astonished that he's never played in an All-Star game. I'm astonished that he never gets any votes for, you know, a Selke. I'm astonished that he doesn't get a lot more recognition. And if you ask him, he'll say, "I'm just doing my job, and they want me to produce." I do that with the players I'm out there with, and that's probably how he approaches everything. So he's a hell of a player.
Head coach Barry Trotz in our Legal Seafoods Bite of the Day, commenting upon Nicholas Backstrom. Remember, folks, hashtag Capitals Talk, our Twitter question. You can use just Metro Division players, 6 players, for an all-star game. Who would your starters be? Let's see if you put Nicholas Backstrom in that list. Not easy. 3 forwards, 2D, and a goalie.
And I don't think you just know how good Backstrom is unless you're lucky like us and get to see him every night. And that's the case with the coaching staff, too. New this season to Washington, Barry Trotz. Seen him a couple of times this season. Hasn't been able to see him on a day-to-day basis. When you do, you just see what a superstar Nick is, both on and off the ice. A great guy, great leader, and now leading the NHL in points.
Between periods 1 and 2, we chatted with Mike Gartner, one of the all-time leading scorers for Washington. Backstrom is now 5th all-time in that category. Thompson Creek window of opportunity. Let's look back on Matt Niskanen's strike.
Yeah, we'll look at the goal, but look at Nick Backstrom. You know, we've been talking about him. Trotz just had the bite of the night, and here we go. Nicky around 4 different guys, around the big fella Boychuk, and look at how he lays that puck out there. You gotta have pace, you gotta have timing. He has got the full repertoire of passing skills that any player has in the National Hockey League, and that was a wonderful pass to set up the only goal for the Caps this afternoon.
Locker, one of the things you mentioned about that goal when you're telestrating it between periods is that Molirat bit for it, but I really thought Colin McDonald should have never went down below the goal line. Playing left wing, leaves the top of the circle. You not only had Niskanen there, but you had Ovechkin in the high slot as well, so they put the young guy in a tough situation as to where to go.
Jack Capuano's 4th line has not played a lot today, as Kuznetsov steers this to the corner. Johansson twirls it on for Brouwer. Given a bump immediately by Travis Hamonic, who has been sturdy today, doing a little bit of everything for New York. Johansson one-on-one. Push-through move is pretty. Johansson tried to bank that off of Chad Johnson, who made the save. Orpik will capture.
You can only do those push-throughs if you can skate, and that's the reason why Mojo was able to get free there for a good chance.
Burakovsky fires. It's a move that Yevgeny Kuznetsov favors. Backstrom on the feed for Carlson. Slapper comes through, knocked down, and Johnson scurries over to cover.
Yeah, good coverage there by Johnson. Made sure he clamped down on that puck, because there was a lot of red jerseys looking to get the first lead of the afternoon for their home team. Backstrom right in the paint. Kuznetsov, Burakovsky all hanging out. There's a shot, and it goes through straight. And look at Burakovsky. Then you see Ovechkin and Backstrom both barreling into the paint, and he spun around a little bit. He's looking, spins around, gets it under his blocker, and then throws it under his catching mitt for a save here in the second.
Ovechkin taking aim at Chad Johnson. The Islanders, a fourth different team with which he's worked. Rangers, Arizona, Boston preceding this stop. Did very well last year as Tuukka Rask's backup. Nielsen on a backhand, turned away by John Carlson. Leddy pinching in from point position as Ovechkin sends it into the Islanders zone. Icing's washed out. Leddy hovering over top of Burakovsky. An ice level look at Backstrom getting involved in the mix along with Franz Nielsen.
Standing on top of the puck, and that actually threw him off balance when they gave him a shove in the corner.
Strome chopped it ahead. Number 5 overall pick for the Islanders back in the summer of 2011.
And his brother's going to be a top pick also. Dylan plays in Erie with the Otters, and he's expected to go in the first round in this upcoming draft.
Strome has been very strong this year for New York. 21-year-old leads the team in plus minus.
And 3 goals his last 4. Look out for him.
DeHaan's drive deflected wide. Niskanen off the boards, not out. We are 1-1 in what has been a scoreless second period. Molarat fidgets loose away from Fair. Dale Molarat turns. McDonald there, former Providence College Friar. And this will bounce back to center. The Islanders continue to miss Casey Cizikas, as well as Kyle Oposo on the injured list.
I enjoyed watching Colin McDonald for a couple of years when Kyle played there. My son at Providence, a big guy. His dad played in the NHL a little bit. Nice to see him back. It was a numbers game early on in the season. McDonald had to go to the American Hockey League after putting together a pretty good season last year for this Islander team.
Tavares rumbling in, angled and finished there by Green. Long point drive deflected, and Holtby stayed with that change of direction. Brouwer resurfacing with Kuznetsov. To the interior, poke check by Johnson at the end of the line. Hamonic didn't get it out. Carlson feeds. Johnson makes a save on Johansson, and he'll cover. The goaltending is impeccable at each end. It's 4.5 to go in the second of a 1-1 draw. NHL back on Comcast Sportsnet 1-1. Islanders and Caps, 2 teams that have done very well inside the Metropolitan Division. Today, Alan May is inside the glass.
Right now, the Capitals only have 11 shots on net, and that's due in large part to the Islanders forwards back-checking. They're coming all the way back into the hash marks, and the Capitals are now starting to make adjustments on the fly here. They're starting to cycle down low and look for the backdoor plays. And you know what? The Islanders are still getting there and blocking some shots. The forwards are doing a great job of blocking out for Chad Johnson today.
Washington back in the offensive zone for a brief moment as Brock Nelson able to forge his way through center. 5-on-5 play continues, mostly at even strength for us today. Not a lot of special teams work either way. Hamonic getting up into the rush. Poke check beautifully there by Orpik. Chimera out wide for Wilson. Big man turns the corner straight, finishes him along the glass. Chimera protecting the puck. Jason, tight quarters, Beagle ripped it wide.
Even though it's a sharp angle shot, that's on net. It creates a rebound just high and wide over that blocker.
Chimera sifting it back. Niskanen drive is right on. Chad Johnson another save. Mark him down for 11 in the game. Clutterbuck on that hesitation move. Niskanen's not buying any of it. Around the wall it goes. Alsner gets through Grabner. Backstrom leads the thrust. Strome on the back check, able to swivel it on down. Should be icing against New York. It is. Capitals Clubhouse, the all-inclusive packs, they're moving fast. Reward yourself, friends, colleagues, a night of first-class fun. It starts an hour before the puck drops $79 per ticket per game. Visit WashingtonCaps.com or call 202-266-CAPS. Family Fun Day on a Saturday in D.C. Green towards the cage and wide. Both of these teams have been playing in front of a lot of sold-out crowds. Grabner had that missile knocked down in front by Hillen.
Makes you think, are they going to move to Brooklyn or not?
Nielsen off a one-touch. Hillen helping Holtby.
It's like the 80s there, isn't it, at the Island, the way they pack that place.
Reminds me of when I used to visit when I was a youngster. And those teams were so good and so clutch. Back through center, Strome, able to roll it in.
But
The Islanders have the most wins locker in the East.
And this team has right up there with the teams of that era, Joe, when it comes to having wins at this point of a season.
Well, what are they? They're 20 games over 500.
They're pretty impressive.
For the first time since they last won the Cup.
There you go.
That's how good they are. 2 minutes separating us from Lattice's intermission live. Icing here against the Caps. Craig on the Toyota League leaderboard, the best of the bunch in the point-scoring race.
And you're going to look at Nick Backstrom. There he is, 1 point ahead of Patrick Kane. You have Alex Ovechkin creeping up with everybody. Voracek, Sidamore, and Tavares. A lot of firepower here today, but it's 1-1. You mentioned the goalies. They have been great, but it's also been team defense. We haven't seen a whole lot of odd man breaks, maybe one apiece. Everyone's thinking defense between these two high-scoring teams.
Potentially, could be a playoff series, and they're playing a playoff-like game right now. Hand pass the call. Face-off to come outside the zone.
No, hockey this afternoon. Last night, it's all about high school hockey, Joe B. DeMatha lost a heartbreaker to Landon 6-5 in overtime. Calvert Hall beat Gonzaga in the other semifinal, and that's a state championship Tuesday, 6 p.m. at the Gardens Ice House in the Mid-Atlantic Prep Hockey League. A lot of great hockey going around. This is a time for a lot of championships in our area.
Best of luck, boys. Dahan will retreat. Play it along the boards. The carom to Tavares. Working back against Orpik, who is not buying those moves.
No, he can do all that shimmying and shaking, and Orpik just stayed in his lane and just watched his chest. Veteran D by the Caps.
Anders Lee just ahead of the play. This is offside against New York.
And you want to be safe as a defenseman. You want to watch the chest, not the puck. And here comes Tavares. And look at that hands. And look at the stick of the defenseman Orpik. And just keeping him right in line with him. There's no way he was going to get past him. A lot of fidgeting of the hands all the way up the ice. And the Capitals leader on the back line really nullifies Tavares trying to attack 1-on-2.
Alan, we had a chance to see Brooks Orpik there. They back skate so beautifully, NHL defensemen. But as a young hockey player, when do you start to see the difference between, hey, you know what? He's a forward and he's a D.
Well, you know what? I think it's determined very on with a lot of players, but you really have to be able to skate. And the better that you can do the transitions forward to backward, I think you're about 10, 11, 12 years old. You know what? You never know with some of these guys. I played defense my entire junior hockey career till my last year and ended up being a forward all throughout my National Hockey League career.
Yeah, you just never know. The one thing I like about players playing young as defensemen is, as a defenseman in youth hockey, you get the puck a lot, Joe B. You're always going back to retrieve. You're always handling the puck. You have to skate forwards and backwards, and it really makes you arguably into a better forward if you decide to change positions.
Brouwer's drive, cuffed down by Johnson. He saw that at the last instant.
Yeah, a little bit of a screen there. Brouwer down the wing, getting a shot. Looked like from up here it moved a little bit. Just about a curveball towards the net. Nice pass by Mojo, and there's the shot. Look at that curve on that. That is a curveball. Looked like it may have hit a stick there, but what a pass by Marcus Johansson. And there's the curve, trying to curve around that far side. A toughie there for Chad Johnson.
Backstrom trying to win this draw back to Alex Ovechkin in the final minute of period 2. Canceled out by Brock Nelson. Joining us a little late, the scoring done in the opening period, both by defensemen. Hamonic for New York, Niskanen for Washington. This is icing against the Isles.
Here's a look at the Capitals bench getting ready for this last face-off. You benching Brock Nelson, Joe B. And we've talked about the 1980 Olympic team. Well, his uncle is none other than Dave Christian, who will be celebrating that 35th anniversary tomorrow in Lake Placid.
Brock Nelson. Sounds like something right out of WWE.
Yeah.
Now entering the ring, Brock Nelson. 30 seconds with which to work in period 2. Niskanen right on goal, and Chad Johnson has that surrounded.
Chad's been pretty good in this game this afternoon. There has not been any rebounds coming into this game. His number's not that flattering, just 2 and 3 in his last 6 starts, but everything seems to be velcroing to him in this hockey game. The Capitals work down low. Alex Ovechkin 1 versus 2. The puck swings around the boards. Notice it's all about collapsing defensively. Kick it back to the point, you get chances. Some real good saves today against the Caps by Chad Johnson.
Career numbers, bottom of the screen. He had 22 stops here in that loss to Washington back in November. A 5-2 setback, 5 different Caps on the board. 20 seconds left in the period. Grabner will take this one back through center. With an assist there on the flank from Strome. 8 seconds left.
And Boychuk going slow to the bench after it looked like he might have taken that shot to the leg or got a little check right in front of the net, but he was slow going to that bench. Big Boychuk, a big part of their defensive core.
He actually took that puck up high, Locker, on that play from Carl Alsner as he stepped into it, and it hit him in one of those spots where he didn't have any padding. And you know, you talk about the Islanders, you look at their top 7 scorers on the team, they're all homegrown players. And I say that guys that Gar Snow drafted and they developed in Bridgeport over the years. A phenomenal job of the Islanders, and that really helps with your salary cap space. So you have guys like Nick Leddy that you'll want to re-sign, Johnny Boychuk. There's going to be a lot of money left over because they were able to farm their own players.
4.3 to go as Backstrom ties up Tavares. The second period comes to its end. Braden Holtby in a net-minding duel with Chad Johnson. 1-1 through 2 periods. Division rivals squaring off. Lattice's Intermission Live is coming up. Special look at Joel Ward. Highlights and stats from today's tilt. This was difficult. You had a lot of people in consideration, obviously, and you're going to have to leave some very, very talented people off the list. Thanks for the participation, folks. Third period unfolding. NHL on CSN, the NHL Network, and Rogers Sportsnet today. Joe Beninati, Craig Laughlin upstairs. Alan May is inside the glass. Great to be back surrounded by the men and women in our technical crew. And a special shout out to Nick Nixon and Al Koken for picking up the slack over the last week.
Yeah, they did a great job, Joe, but always great to have you back in the booth. We got a lot of home cooking upcoming. We don't have to travel that much. 8 of the next 11, as you mentioned earlier in the show, here at home. Short trips to the Flyers, the Canes, and Columbus over this next stretch.
I'll see you in Raleigh on Friday.
You got it.
At the Brasserie. Snapshot from Tavares, deflected goal that he got drilled by Wilson and goes crashing into the boards.
Did he ever? He lost his balance after a push. You know, they collided together there. Tavares is one tough customer. It's going to smart for about a minute. He's going to be up and ready as Willie and him got tangled up right at the goal line. He was actually fortunate. It looked like he was going to save himself in this play. Here it is early on, 48 seconds into the third period, and everybody on the island is just holding their breath. The shot, there's the push, and there he is, flying into the boards there. And Tavares is no worse for wear. Off to the bench, heavy hit as he flew into the boards.
Staying out there to take this draw against Nicholas Backstrom. 2 of the top centers in the Metropolitan Division for sure. Backstrom now leading the league in assists and points. The rebound caroms to the NHL's goal-scoring leader, Alex Ovechkin, who will dump it in. 7 goals in his last 7 games against the Islanders for the Grade 8. Burakovsky getting the top line assignment today. Orpik at a point position, giving ground to Anders Lee. Tavares gets the jump here in a 2-on-1. And at the doorstep, Holtby makes the save on Bailey. John Carlson, the counterpunch.
Well, I mentioned earlier there's been very few odd-man breaks. There's one that countered against the Caps.
Burakovsky snapped that one off the outside of the goal. Two teams separated by 5 points in the Metropolitan Division. Islanders, the top spot, Washington in third. Their final regular season meeting today. Franz Nielsen lost the handle. Hillen on for Green. Grabner was in the passing lane. Hillen speeds to the corner. Boychuk jumps in from point position. Strome to the goal. A pad save for Holtby. Grabner turns and flails that one high. To the 3rd minute of the 3rd period we go. All the scoring in this game back in the first. Hamonic for New York. Niskanen for Washington. Hillen confidently through center. Brouwer will stash this behind Chad Johnson, who's in the cage. Yaroslav Halak on the verge of setting a single-season wins record for New York, sitting this one out. The Islanders host Vancouver tomorrow, the beginning of a 4-game homestand to end the month. To the high slot comes Green. Wins the battle with a lift check. Towards the cage, chopped wide by Brouwer. Cale Molarak, 27-year-old Edmonton native.
Yeah, nice to see him make it to the National Hockey League, an undrafted player that finally gets his first taste of the NHL.
20-goal scorer last year in the American Hockey League with St. John's. Tearing it up in the AHL with Bridgeport this year. Johansson pulls the trigger, deflected away. Islanders losing Mikhail Grabowski to injury in their last outing. A marquee matchup against Nashville. Continuing to work without Kyle Oposo, just the same.
And the Caps' fourth line has done a great job of getting involved in the forecheck today, using speed and their size to gain puck control. They've been all over the ice.
Good opportunity for the Islanders in this period. It was all Tavares. After he took that heavy spill, he got control of the puck in his next shift. Beautiful backhand. You know, great players. We always talk about using both sides of their stick. Tavares, much like Nick Backstrom, great touch there, trying to find Bailey, crashing to the net. There you see the splits by Holtz, and denying Bailey on the doorstep with his right pad.
Josh, another former high first-round draft pick of the Islanders, a guy who scored on Thursday in the win over the Predators.
Yeah, last year, real good year when it came to assists, had his most assists ever, and this year 12, 17, 29, playing on that top line. Last 4 years goals, you want more, Joe B, from Josh Bailey. 13, 11, 8, and then 12 this season.
Backstrom's won 14 of 21 draws today, surpassing his regular season productivity around 53%. Burakovsky with a open lane. Swings back behind the cooker. Fires that one off the shoulder of Chad Johnson. Backstrom dealing to the front, deflected. Carlson fires. Snapped out of the air by Johnson.
Yeah, great play by Nick Backstrom again. It's unbelievable how he can thread a needle for Carlson to get that shot away. And Johnson comes up with a good save. But Nick Backstrom, watch this, fans at home. I mean, he feathers it through everybody. Look at, they're in pretty good defensive position. He's going for Burakovsky. It works perfectly. I mean, it goes right to Carlson. I mean, when you're picking up points like Nick is, those type of plays just happen. And they are happening for number 19 here in Washington.
Another shot on cage for John Carlson. Everybody knows Ovechkin leads the team in that regard, but it's Carlson who's right there second most in terms of shots on goal. John now the 3rd leading scorer for this Washington team.
The Caps, 2 defensemen over 35 points here in their lineup. One of 2 teams that can have that. Those guys in Nashville also putting up huge points, both over 30 when you look at Weber and Yossi.
This game tight to the vest all day. 1-1 with 15:40 to go in regulation. Nielsen's drive's an easy answer for Holtby. Leddy on the back pedal. Strome fires. Holtby was in good shape. As the Islanders will reorganize at center. Only Tampa Bay with more even strength goals than the Islanders this season. Johansson captures it along the boards. Kuznetsov lost the handle. Fans encouraging their favorites here in D.C. Holtby will reverse the flow for Niskanen. Kuznetsov one-on-one against Hickey, makes the poke check there, and that threw the timing of the play offside. From the promo department, stay up to date on your favorite team. Download the new CSN Washington app today, featuring breaking news, instant analysis, scores, now video, Capitals, Redskins, Wizards, DC United, and more on the new CSN Washington app. Checking it out right now, apparently.
Yeah, Caps points, Joe, being 28 of the last 35 games overall, and that's pretty darn good considering 20 of the last 35 have been away from Verizon Center.
All these smartphones have made everybody an amateur photographer except me. I cannot take a picture worth a darn.
We're going to show you. Here they go, Matt Martin and Wilson right at the blue line.
The gloves are off. It's a heavyweight tilt.
It sure is.
Second time they've gone this year.
Yeah, both guys. Martin trying to get his right hand free and Wilson trying to get his right free. And Willie's got his right free and trying to throw a haymaker.
And Matt Martin's got to be careful. We saw him get his nose busted by Ryan White about a week and a half ago. And it's great that he's out here getting involved again, but he's done a great job for the Islanders all season long. Always in on the hits, plays a physical game, stands up, be counted. And Tom Wilson's been a factor today as well.
Yeah, he had a hold of that jersey. He couldn't cock that right arm because the jersey was coming off. Wilson and Martin here in the third period. A good bout. There's a look at the jersey. It looks just about torn. Wilson and Martin going after it. And here you'll take a look right off the face-off, pushing and shoving on that side. Martin trying to get it back. Two big guys, and they're just laying into each other, holding. Martin actually drops the gloves first, and Willie gets going. And both guys trying to unleash their right cross here in this fight.
You know darn well Matt Martin didn't appreciate the way Wilson sent Tavares to the end boards to start this third period.
Yep, that goes back. You always think about that. Tough guys always think of those things. Matt Martin, 8 fights, and you have the Capitals Willie with 108 penalty minutes, which leads this Capitals team.
Wilson, who will turn 21 next month, is now in the top 5 in the NHL when it comes to PIMS. Jack Capuano's troops in a 1-1 draw here in DC today. Throughout the season set, the Islanders have taken 2 of the 3, both of their wins in overtime. DeHaan muscles one in from center, around for McDonald. Kuznetsov did not clear. Kulemin denied at the near post there by Holtby.
That was a sneak attack. That's the best save of this afternoon for Braden Holtby.
Johansson working to the outside through the hip check of Hickey. Johansson feeds. Kuznetsov was tied up by Kulemin all the way on the back check. Nearing the 6-minute mark of the third, a 1-1 game. Islanders changing personnel. Uncontested clear for Kuznetsov. Johnson shovels it on around. Johansson waiting. Yevgeny Kuznetsov. High cycle there. Johnson the save on a Johansson BB. Reload chance deflected. It goes wide.
First time he couldn't control his rebound. Just about thought he had it in his catching glove, and that's caused this problem now for his club in their own zone.
Control a rebound. He was nearly beheaded.
Got a chance to catch it, Joe B.
Listen to you. Through center on the crisscross. Strome and Nielsen as Johansson was in the lane. Boychuk hammers that one right to the glove of Braden Holtby. He'll squeeze. 6.5 minutes into the third period. Get the sense that things are heating up again. Matt Martin getting a new uni.
Start in the neutral zone for the Islanders. They kick it wide to Hamonic, who joins the rush off the pipe and in over the catching glove. Then Nick Backstrom works his way around 4 different Islanders, finds Niskanen, who pounds one home. And the Islanders and Caps are knotted at 1.
Those two tallies separated by a bit more than 11 minutes way back in the first period. Since then, Holtby and Chad Johnson have been clean. Two teams at even and full strength. Shots on goal are 19 apiece. As this puck is deflected very close to where Alan May is inside the glass, out of play.
Almost hit the big red Sasquatch beside me, and he got it just out of the way.
Come on, Sammy!
I'm going to give him the puck. I'm going to give him the puck. Yeah.
Sasquatch, that's not nice.
He can't hear that.
We got to find Bigfoot this afternoon.
Yeah, it's snowing outside. We're going to see. I'm sure we'll see a Yeti. It's pretty miserable out there today.
Ken Sabourin inside the glass for the Capitals Radio Network. 13 and change to go regulation time in this one. Capitals right back to work. They'll be up by 95 to square off with Philadelphia tomorrow. Another 12:30 start. That's Hockey Day in America on NBC. While the Isles entertain Vancouver. New York, I believe, 10 home games in the month of February. Chance to improve and enhance their division lead and overall record.
Sold out 15 of their last 26 on the island.
Tavares gets loose. Boychuk winds and drives, just looking for the deflection there. It came on through Anders Lee.
Can he ever pound the puck there? And, you know, instead of just shooting it in the belly, exactly, Joe B. looking for a deflection, didn't go.
Bailey towards the cage, deflected wide. Stop attempt here. Boychuk getting way up into the rush. On the quick rotation play, deflected. Boychuk this year, Locker, has 7 multi-point games. He had 6 in his first 400 in the NHL. Quite a difference.
And his goals totals are as high because he's been all over the place. 6 goals is his best season he's had in the NHL.
Well, you know, and one of the things, guys, he never got to play in the power play when he was in Boston. So the big difference here is the Isles use him there, and it frees up their other players to get more ice time in key areas. Travis Hamonic leads them at ice time every night, and he's able to play more of his own defensive game now that there's some relief from Johnny Boychuk.
Great point, Allen. All part of a productive back end for the Isles. McDonald towards the cage. Deflected off the shoulder of Holtby. Molarat to the front. It clicks back to point position for Hickey. This one settles wide of the net. Colin McDonald, the 30-year-old Connecticut native. Cale Molarat to point position for Hickey. Holtby watching to the near post. Molarat works the cycle, getting more ice time as this game has progressed from head coach Capuano. Marcus Johansson from a dead stop. Brouwer ahead for Kuznetsov, a bit too strong. Straight. Looking for an alleyway along with Clutterbuck. Shouldered by Backstrom. Brouwer will leave the zone. Troy Brouwer will dump it in. Nearing the midway mark of the third. Who's going to get that next tally? Nelson will clear it in as Green will venture back to play. Islanders rewind with Boychuk. Holtby will slow the dump in down for Green and Hillen to work on the outlet. Mike Green. Choppy strides through center. Turnover. Strome waiting for it. To the trailer. Kuhlman. Nielsen is next. Kuhlman fires. Glove save. Holtby. 1-1 game. We had McDonald's trivia earlier concerning the 1980 U.S. Olympic team and its members. Can you name 3 of them that played more than 1,000 games in the NHL?
And I think we got them. Christian.
Yes.
Ramsey.
Yes.
Neil Broughton.
Neil Broughton.
Yeah, I think so. There they are. The most you see at the top, Neil Broughton, 1,099. It was great catching up with Dave Christian when he came in for the Winter Classic, Joe B. A long-time Washington Capital. Most of his games played right here.
I had 2 other guys possibly to whittle down on my list. One was Ken Morrow, who you were presuming may have been involved. And the other was Mark Pavlich, and I don't think either of them were near 1,000 games.
Yeah, it was amazing. Remember, Ken Morrow always seemed to be banged up. He played just over 550 games in his NHL career.
Loose here in the offensive zone. Tomorrow, the 35th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice game of Lake Placid fame. Like towards the cage, erased by Hamonic. Brooks Like loosens himself up from the defender, who gets right back into the act. Hard drive from Ward, pad St. Johnson. Orpik sends it high at the flex wide. 9:40 to play in the third period. Each of these teams has had only 1 power play all day. Hamonic Using the board, didn't get it out. Fair rotates over to play it and fire it wide. Referees Jackson and Kozaria let the boys play. Ward, a sneaky pass to the front. Rejected by Calvin DeHaan. Bailey turns it into the Washington zone.
And DeHaan in the lineup because they've got a surplus of defensemen, so they give the veteran Wisnowski the night off or the day off. And he's 38 years old, so I'll presume that he would play tomorrow when they face off against the Canucks.
They've been rotating some guys through.
Yeah, they sure have.
Keeping people fresh. Cam Schilling is a healthy scratch for Washington today, as we have an icing call here against New York. Capitals right back to work tomorrow on NBC.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Caps and Flyers always seems to be that way. We talk about the Pittsburgh rivalry. In the same breath, you can talk about the Flyer rivalry. Two great centers there on our screen. Giroux on the right, Backstrom on the left. Always seems to be a lot of firework up in Philadelphia. Calle Johansson, the great defenseman here in Washington franchise history and former coach of this Caps team.
Way to go, Calzone. Calle there to the left. The all-time leader in terms of games played for Washington.
Here with some buddies from work heading back home to Sweden tomorrow.
Philadelphia has a 2-1 lead today. Ryan White, the lead goal for the Flyers over visiting Nashville. The Flyers out shooting the Preds 22-7 through 2 periods in that one.
Guys, you got to think that if there's any offense in this period, it's going to come from a play behind the net. Both teams are scrumming it up, taking the middle of the ice away, and they're using that trapezoid to start to make their battles and get sneak players into the circles for those quick one-timers through traffic. It'll be interesting to see if anyone can get a shot through.
Brouwer here turns and fires, had that one deflected. Alan May inside the glass today. He'll be our post-game live host. Joined by Brent Johnson, Capitals Post-Game Live presented by your DC area Acura dealers to follow once we are through.
Well, guys, one of the things that's going on right now is the teams are blocking out the middle lanes of the ice. And you're seeing when the puck goes in, it's got to go in on a hard wraparound. The goaltenders may get there or not, but the plays are starting to shuffle. They're bumping and grinding behind the net, and it's about being tough on the puck and creating offense out of those plays. So as I said just a little bit earlier, it's about getting guys into those low circle areas and trying to snap the one-timers and then try to find the garbage from there if the goaltender's quick enough to get to those pucks.
You guys often talk to me about pick plays, about rub plays. Perhaps that'll be the way to create off the wall and give you enough room to pull the trigger. This has been a hotly contested, hard-fought hockey game, and a 2-on-2 develops now back the other way. The trigger from Clutterbuck denied. Clutterbuck working with Brock Nelson. On the exchange there defensively, Orpik hammers him. Alex Ovechkin's been quiet today. Burakovsky with some get up and go. Andre Burakovsky to the trailer, John Carlson. Ovechkin blocked by the sliding Molarat.
That was a great play by Molarat, making sure he got his body in that lane there. Good play by the Caps, just outside the blue line to generate that scoring chance.
Still 5-on-5. Haven't had a power play since the first period, if memory serves. Green using the net away from Molarat, who wipes out and takes the net from the pegs.
And their play's going to continue. The referees have that rule that they can keep it going. Holtby's going to put his net back on its moorings as the Capitals have possession. Therefore, no whistle on that net knocked off.
That was odd. It turned into a little bit of a fire drill here. Molarat introducing himself to Holtby on CSN. Today's game summary brought to you by 9 Point Systems. They offer the technology you need when you need it. How good has Braden Holtby been at home?
Yeah, impressive. Points in 11 of 12. Travis Hamonic, his last 2 goals have come against the Caps. 31 games between the two.
And off the NHL scoring leader, Nick Backstrom, a perfect feed to Matt Niskanen for his 3rd goal of the season. A beautiful one-timer over the shoulder of Chad Johnson.
Niskanen with points in 3 of his last 4 by virtue of that goal today. Matt led the team in ice time, Allen, back on Thursday. Over 23 minutes against Winnipeg. We hear a whistle with 7:20 to go in this 1-1 draw.
And through 40 minutes this afternoon, he led the Caps in ice time over 16 minutes. On the Islanders side, it was all Travis Hamonic. A mistake by the officials, and you always know it's a mistake on the icing call when face-offs come to center ice.
Yevgeny Kuznetsov is tallied twice in his 4 previous encounters with New York. 22-year-old Russian. Sitting this one out as Bailey goes to the outside and fires to the gloved hand of Holtby.
Routine, nobody around him, easy catch and glove save as Bailey's looking for his 13th. That shot ain't going to beat Holtby. The way he's in a zone for the Capitals since the start of the season, just nothing's got him frustrated, nothing's flustering. He just plays the same game in, game out.
Verizon Center, full throat. Washington just twice beaten in regulation in the last 15 home dates. Burakovsky lost the handle there at center. Hamonic with some get up and go. Travis Hamonic gliding to the outside. Hook that pass to the front. Carlson says go away. Backstrom juggled the puck through center. Orpik has it now for Washington. Straight up the gut to Nicholas. Return it to the veteran Orpik. Brooks Orpik shaded by Hamonic. Burakovsky swoops in there to play. Behind the cage to Backstrom. Following the advice of Alan May. That quick centering pass. Ovechkin didn't get much on it, if anything. Grabner right to the blocker pad of Holtby. Strome opens up. Hickey closing. Fires that one just wide. 5-on-5 play still. Nary a power play since the opening frame.
You know, Alexander Ovechkin at 36 games against the New York Islanders has 26 goals. Today he has just 1 shot. The Islanders have done a great job of blocking out against him.
It's amazing. He's just about even money against New York. You know what he's also done against the Islanders an awful lot? Win games in overtime. I know we're not there yet. 5.5 away, but he's done a job against New York in that regard. Point position. Boychuk hammers and a pad save for Holtby.
That's a great save there. Then Boychuk ran into his own man.
3-on-2 in transition. Fair fires. Score! Eric Fair.
Oh, Boychuk caught pinching after the blast, ran into his own man. The Caps have been so good at finishing off odd man breaks this season. There are schemes when you're attacking 3-on-2. Well, fans, here's a perfect setup. You go from center to wide, back to the drop, and Eric Fair rips it with the sliding defender. Eric Fair in that line, we said earlier on in the first period, they've been snake bit a little bit. They've been shutting down teams. They haven't been generating offense. Eric Fair had gone the previous 6 without a point. He's got the go-ahead goal here in the third.
Playing in his 400th game with Washington today. Fair's tally at 14-26 gives the Caps the advantage in the third. Leddy muscles his way back through center. Out wide for McDonald, he'll dump it in. Niskanen checking the rear view mirror. Martin is right there to put the hit on him. Fans celebrating the tally from Eric Fair. Goal number 17 on the campaign. Through center to clear in. Boychuk doing the honors. All the way around for Martin. Bracketed along the boards. Orpik relieved him of the puck. Chimera at center. Waits and then distributes into the corner. Barry Trotz wants the line change. 4:40 left in regulation. Holtby barking out the instructions for Carlson. This one dribbles to the slot. Joel Ward right there. 2-on-2 through center and Fair to tumble it in.
And notice that line gets right back out there. One shift between their last shift that gave the Caps that 2-1 lead.
And I notice it because Tavares is on the ice.
Absolutely.
Like to the corner. Fair gives it a nudge and Bailey rotates over to play. Little bit more than 4 minutes with which to work. The NHL on CSN, the NHL Network, and Rogers Sportsnet with you. Down the stretch we go in a 2-1 game involving Metropolitan Division rivals. The Caps and Islanders concluding their regular season set. Strome pedals in, pumps that one off the goalie stick of Braden Holtby. who has this one trapped to his chest from DeHaan. One final commercial break in regulation time. Get you back for this one's conclusion. Eric Fair, a nod of approval and high fives all around in Washington. Elaborated on the lead goal provided by Eric Fair, and another vet is our Caps player of the game today, sponsored by the Palm Restaurant. We'll go with Matt Niskanen.
Yeah, lots of ice time, third goal of the season, 3 shots, 3 hits, a little bit of everything in over 21 minutes so far.
Entered to be the Palm Fan of the Month at thepalm.com/fan. Alan May and Brent Johnson with the Caps post-game live assignment, presented by your DC area Acura dealers to follow. Plenty of heavy lifting left to go, though, in this one. A 2-1 advantage for the guys in the red jerseys. Shots on goal are 26-21 for New York. Hickey on the hand-to-head through of Franz Nielsen. Talented player from Denmark gives chase. Kuznetsov will try the other flank. Kept in at the point by Nielsen, a long slapper. Easy stop for Holtby. Grabner of Austrian descent for Strome. Strome turns the corner, gets topside for Hickey. Steered away by Holtby. Strome angling, works the cycle, chased by Johansson. Grabner, they're playing keep away. Hickey on a swivel move, Niskanen wasn't buying. Ice level look at the fray out of the corner. Strome slots it there. Grabner, thank goodness, swing and a miss. Follow-up chance deflected. Good shift here for New York.
They look like the Harlem Globetrotters, the way they're moving it around, and the Caps are dead tired, haven't been able to get a shift change.
Niskanen deflecting that puck, but it didn't leave the rink. Matt Niskanen has some time now. Johansson just does jam it to center. Keep an eye on Chad Johnson. See when Jack Capuano will lift him for the extra skater. Anders leads, wrister spoiled by Fair. Holtby did not get that one in the glove. Alsner with room, using the window to get it ahead, but not out. Tavares swivels for Bailey. Like there to keep an eye on him. Brooks Like will putter it back into the New York end.
They got to think about Chad Johnson coming as soon as they get it over the blue line here. I'd be surprised if he doesn't come once they get control over center.
Tavares wiggling his way through neutral. Islanders beat the Caps twice on Long Island in OT. Washington trying to return the favor twice in regulation in Washington. Sharp angle bid. Turn and stop from Tavares. Shut down by Holtby. Follow-up chance for Lee. Didn't get through. 90 seconds left. Chad Johnson looking for instructions from the bench. 5 players still on for New York. Tavares let this one go. Blocked by a sliding defender. Out of play.
Yeah, real good play there by Eric Fair, who's got the go-ahead goal against Tavares and company. Last flurry, they were really moving the puck around. Stuff attempt by Tavares. The follow-up by Anders Lee, and he can't get it to go past the pad. The broken stick, watch Grabner let her fly. And notice his stick flying right into the corner. One more look, and there it comes at the referee and our camera guy. And boom. No opportunities get to the net. Grabner with the best opportunity as the Islanders elect to use their timeout.
You know, a couple of key things that happened on that last shift. Brooks Like with a great line change comes to the middle of the ice, takes Tavares wide. Holtby, phenomenal play down on the goal line. The slide technique, perfect. And then Eric Fair with a whole bunch of sacrifice coming across and blocking that last shot. And once again, there's just been so much growth in his game from last year to this year, and then all the way through. He just gets better and better, more of a complete player, and certainly he's played so much better at center than he ever has at right wing.
Assistant coach Doug Waite was leading the discussion for the Islanders. Assistant coach Todd Reardon was leading a similar chat defensively for Washington.
And I noticed, Joe B, they have 3 centers out there, arguably, with Fair, Beagle, and Backstrom. Fair gets the first crack at the Islanders centermen.
6 attackers on, 1:27 to go. Real good hockey game in the nation's capital. Johnson has vacated the net. A win of the draw, but the Islanders will be forced to retreat. The dangerous Nick Leddy off for Boychuk, equally dangerous. Carlson guns it around, not out. Franz Nielsen keeping it on the board for Strome. Leddy fires. Holtby the save. Looking for the rebound at the post. It ricochets. No! Holtby, marvelous to get back in time.
And now we're going to have a meeting behind the net after a hack and a whack of the Braden Holtby in the net. The net's knocked off its moorings, and that definitely hit the pipe and went out the other side. And here you see Carlson and company pushing and shoving. The Islanders for sure, Joe B, thought they had this tied up.
Replays are going to show you the puck clanging all over the place here.
Here's that last play, the shot from the point, and there's the save. He can't corral it. Look at Tavares come in there. Just a severe angle, didn't get it to go. And then we have a huge commotion in front of the net. Here's the shot right off the post. And then it hits the stick up in air, it looks like, the stick of Eric Fehr, and everybody comes to help Braden Holtby. An overhead look, Joe B. Watch the puck bounce up. Watch him come in, that's Tavares, and watch the stick flying out of the hand of Eric Fehr. Might have even got a piece of that puck.
Lady Luck, amazingly kind there. How in the world Tavares doesn't deposit that one, as Braden Holtby has the save counter closing in on 30. A slew of them in the third period. 64 seconds to go in regulation, 2-1 Washington. Isles win the draw. Leddy waiting for the screen to develop in the final minute of the game. Nick Leddy, switch it up for Boychuk. Keep it on the outside to Tavares, the playmaker for New York. Lets it go, deflection, try stop, rebound, they score! Strome has tied it.
It starts off with a face-off control. Real good play as it went D to Boychuk, and a sharp angle shot. Strome right place, right time for his 13th. And he's got 4 goals now his last 5 games. Here's the play by Tavares. Look at the sharp angle shot, a la Alex Ovechkin by Strome. Notice he makes sure he moves his feet to get the opportunity. And they get a ton of shots. Strome has had 5 in this hockey game. The defection by Lee leads to one of the assists. It should be Strome from Lee and Tavares late here in the third.
And they're jumping for joy on the New York bench. Strome, who does most of his damage at home, gets his 13th of the year, just his 4th on the road. 19-12, the time of the tally. We are 2-2. Niskanen will glide back through on the lead for Backstrom. Advancing the puck to the offensive zone where the Caps will be delayed offside. Washed out now. Islanders will dump it in. Better keep your wits about you now if you're Washington in the final 25 seconds. Hamonic towards the cage. Clearing on for Ovechkin. Didn't steer that one to Backstrom with 15 seconds to play. Niskanen, who tallied back in the first for Washington. Using the boards to roll it to center. 6 seconds away from OT. Isles, Caps. In this division battle, needing extra time. The youngster, 21-year-old Ryan Strome, tallying with 48 seconds to go. We'll need overtime on CSN. Capitals Overtime is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. No time to get your souvenirs right now. We've got overtime on the horizon with the NHL on CSN. A 2-2 score for the Caps and the New York Islanders. As we look back on 4 goals today, our Geico highlights.
And for the Islanders, Hamonic started it off, 7:41 in the first, piping in.
4th of the year at 7:41.
Late in that first period, Backstrom does all the work, and Niskanen, high heat over Chad Johnson's glove.
That one coming with just 41 seconds left in the first period.
And I thought this was going to be the game winner by Eric Fehr on a 3-on-2. He rips it past the catching glove.
14:26 of the third for number 17.
And then with time taken away, goalie on the bench, Tavares, Lee, Strome, sharp angle, ties it up for the Isles.
Oh, that was huge for the New Yorkers at 19:12 of the third period. Thus, we will play some 4-on-4 hockey. Each team has a point in the standings.
Guys, this is the 3rd time these 2 teams have played in overtime this season. The first 2 games, both on the island, ended with a Washington Capital in the penalty box. So that's something you definitely don't want to have today. The Capitals have to stay out of the box, play this 4-on-4, or create the power play for themselves. Look for Mike Green to be activating, Matt Niskanen to be up in the play, and Ovechkin and Backstrom certainly to do their part.
The Islanders have been awesome in OT. Just have a look at that. By the way, they are 7-0 against Metropolitan Division rivals in overtime or through shootouts.
Yeah, they don't lose a lot to the Met. The last loss they had was against the Rangers in that wild one, 6-5 on the Island last week.
Saturday afternoon in snowy Washington, D.C. It's been a pleasure to have this one coast to coast in Canada on Rogers Sportsnet and in the United States on the NHL Network. About to find out who's going to win this one. Final time these two teams will see each other before a potential playoff series in the spring.
Play it even Steven, 4-on-4. The Capitals, the highest scoring team when it comes to 4-on-4 play, whether during regulation or now in overtime. So I'd like to see them get this win this afternoon.
Leddy coordinating with Boychuk. Down the corridor for Grabner to fire, and he whistled it wide.
That's just about too many men, too, and the Capitals coach and every player yelling at the linesman for too many men didn't get the call.
Caps have the puck here. Wraparound chance for Backstrom, snuffed out by Johnson.
Yeah, puck rolled on him late in this game. Ice a little choppy, could not get it flat.
Grabner zips one wide of the goal, chases his own rebound.
This is his style of game, isn't it?
Oh, he's going to love this. Like trying to chase a gazelle.
Yeah.
Good luck. Islanders in the white jerseys.
You need a bazooka.
Point position, Strome with a long wrister knocked down. John Carlson moves ahead, 3-on-3. Ovechkin steps in, fires, pad save by Chad Johnson. Ovechkin in his career has scored the winning goal in overtime against New York 5 different times.
And notice who was up on that play. That was Carlson. He was just about in the paint when Ovechkin shot that puck.
Orpik powers his way into the zone. Brooks Orpik, snapshot, a routine stick save for Chad Johnson. We're in the second minute of overtime with the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Straight, swallowed up there by Kuznetsov. Strome, who tied it in the final minute of regulation time, deals to Straight. Further still for Tavares, among the top 5 point producers in the league. Green with speed now through center. Johansson finagles to the outside. Beagle joins him. Bounced over Jay's blade. Hickey has all sorts of room. Thomas Hickey towards the goal wide. Guarded there by Braden Holtby. 2:40 left in OT. Bailey working along the wall. Dogged by Ward, who will kick it back to center. Beagle chips it in. Line change is coming. Hickey has some operating space. He'll dribble it behind Holtby's net. Caps with a puck. Brouwer doing the honors swiftly through center. Niskanen joining the rush. Brouwer not going anywhere. Leddy would not allow it. 2 former Blackhawks there. Boychuk moves it along for Leddy. Tremendous skating speed to the outside. A pad save, Holtby. That was not as easy as it looked.
No, backhands are always tricky, and that one probably looking for a rebound. Got one, but no one in white was there waiting for it.
Ovechkin has energy through center now. Alex Ovechkin 2-on-2. Ovechkin steps, fires, Johnson the save, and he wants to melt the rebound, and he does.
Yeah, breakaway speed there from Alex Ovechkin. It was temporarily a little bit of a 2-on-1 there for OV. They sprung free on a line change. Notice the Islanders coming out of the box there, couldn't get into the play. Good hustle by Leddy. You mentioned his speed. Notice how quickly he recovered from being up ice to now make it a 2-on-2 instead of a 2-on-1.
Backstrom has had a really good day at the face-off dot. Going to try to beat Tavares this time. Ovechkin winning that draw for Washington, just content to joust it behind the goal. 90 seconds left in the extra frame. John Carlson has been scoring aplenty of late for Ovechkin. Crisscross on the overlap, Backstrom. Moseying in. Nicholas feeds. Ovechkin fires wide of Chad Johnson. 70 seconds to go in OT. Brian Straight likes to get up into the rush. So too does Hammond. Neither of these Islander D are afraid as this is off the ring.
Yeah, not much room there for Hamonic coming in. Travis Hamonic, great feature on ESPN2 on him recently. He wears number 3 for the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. He fell in love with hockey when the family moved to Winnipeg after his dad passed away when he was 10 years old, Joby.
Look at you getting all religious. 2-2. You learn a lot of backstories when you start going through the files of these players.
4-1 Caps here, shots in overtime.
55 seconds with which to work.
Both teams have some real good shooters too if it does get to the shootout.
Alsner getting up into the flow. Chad Johnson makes the save. Another 1-2 on the rebound chance. Franz Nielsen.
He's pretty good in the
Yeah,
shootout.
you don't want to see him in a
No,
shootout.
you don't. But we know we will if it does get there.
Absolutely. Letty will wind it up. Boychuk leans in and fires. That was blocked by Alsner. 20 seconds to go. Marcus Johansson full flight. Johansson to the outside, barely keeping him there. Johansson feeds to the front, looking for Fair, who has a couple of OT winners this year. Johansson fidgets loose. Poke check, look out. Brock Nelson there. Johansson recovers well, and the time will expire in overtime. The shootout will be presented by Geico. 65 minutes, not enough for Washington and New York. Back to settle matters at Verizon Center right after these words. Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Capitals hockey today has been brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. Mazda, conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. McDonald's, try the new Old Bay Filet-O-Fish sandwich at participating McDonald's today. Jeep, visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by Thundercat Technology, empowering your enterprise IT systems for mission-critical environments. Rig up a few nets, we could do the shootout right there. Top of the first, Yevgeny Kuznetsov against Chad Johnson. Snaking his way into the forehand, he scores!
A nice slow snake walk-in by Kuzi. And watch him go side to side, trying to get the goaltender to move his feet side to side, has some movement, and rips it at the last second right past the blocker side.
This guy is a shootout genius. Franz Nielsen. Streaking in on Braden Holtby to the backhand, he flubbed it.
Yeah, he was going top shelf, and Braden probably knew he had it. Braden sort of wiped out. He's checking his skate right now and the strap that holds it in place. There it is. Had he gone up under the bar, it was in, rolls off his sticks. Caps will take it.
Backstrom trying to give Washington a commanding lead here.
Same spot, shoot right at that blocker.
With speed, right up the gut. Backstrom to the backhand, glove save.
Nice save there by Chad Johnson. Very little movement, just following Nicky all the way in. And Nick goes top shelf. Notice how high he carries that catching glove. And it doesn't get elevated as much as Backstrom wanted. Goes right into the webbing.
Tavares just 2 for 7 this season. Way wide. Hesitates. Fires, and it's a stick save for Holtby.
Covered just about every part of the ice there. Going real wide, coming in, slowing down, hits his arm. Trying to go upstairs, didn't find it.
If Alex Ovechkin scores, it's over. A chance to decide this one in the shootout today. The Capitals and the Islanders. Two teams battling in the Metropolitan Division. Alex Ovechkin leads the league in goals. Here in the shootout against Johnson. Steps, fires, pad save.
Stuck with it. You can hear that hit the pad with a thud. One more chance for the Islanders to beat Braden Holtby. Here comes OV. Chad Johnson stays with them, tries to go 5-hole. He got those pads together in a hurry to deny the captain.
Strome 0 for 3 this season in the shootout. Trying to keep it alive. To the backhand. No! Washington wins by the final of 3-2.
Caps have a 4-game winning streak for the first time of the season. Fans going crazy here in Washington. Standing ovation during that shootout. They're rocking the red. The Caps get 1 point closer to the Islanders with this win this afternoon.
Braden Holtby and the Capitals celebrating after this stop.
Yeah, nice play by Strome coming in, tries to have him frozen there and put it 5-hole, but it hits that right pad right at the top. And Holtby from here, and that replay shows you he was with them all the way. Absolutely no room for Strome, the young sharpshooter.
Braden said, you know what, you got me, kid, late in regulation. You tied the game, Ryan Strome. You will not win in this shootout. The Capitals prevail by the final of 3-2.